I knew going along with your trap would be the only way to meet with you face to face.
You risked your safety and that of the Eye? That's quite the gamble, Dainsleif. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap laid by the Twilight Sword.
So you came here all on your own? What about those followers of yours?
When the Twilight Sword is prepared for battle, any army I could send would only be marching to their doom. Better that I face you alone. I know you must have a lot to say, but if it's a conversation you want, you'll have to defeat me first.
Over there. Weren't they acting super agitated just a little while ago? Why are they so calm all of a sudden?
In the New World, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering, or try. Such was the price they paid, and thus their souls became cleansed and pure.
Did you hear that? Looks like the same thing is happening over here, too. The Hilichurls are calm.
You see, we're both still here. We've reclaimed an endless amount of time to love. Release your tears. You no longer need to hold back your sorrow.
They're sleeping.
In the end, he whispered softly, "Sleep well, Father. Sleep well, my beloved people. When you awake, that which differentiates us shall be no more."
It almost sounds like a poem or some kind of story. Well, now that the Hilichurls have calmed down, Vimara Village should be safe at least. Grandpa Amadea, is everyone alright? The Abyss Order seems to be up to something nearby. Oh, also, you didn't happen to come across any clues about the missing villager while we were gone, did you?
Someone's gone missing, you say? Who would that be?
Huh?
I do apologize, you two. I hope I'm not worrying you too much. I'm sure it's just my age making me forgetful again.
Thanks for your help, Grandpa Amadea. Something's definitely not right. We just talked to Grandpa Amadea about the missing villager. There's no way he could have forgotten all about him just like that.
Someone's gone missing? Who?
Just as expected.
I suppose you could call it the realm of my consciousness. I'm someone who no longer exists in the real world after all. Extreme sorrow and pain. Hope and regret coursing through your veins. And a degree of abyssal power that defies comprehension. In truth, I died the moment I set everything in motion. The person you see before you now is nothing but a remnant of consciousness left over within the loom of fate. I just wanted them to feel like I once existed in this world. As if I had a chance at life. I had to know what it would be like if I had my own life. What kind of person I would be. What other people would think of me. Chief Ahmadiyya, Baram, Granny Jahiyat, Atosa. What would it be like if I could live alongside them? No cataclysm, no curse. Just a quiet life in a peaceful village. I was curious, so I selfishly tried to have my own life. Even if that meant piecing together the version of myself that could have been. One memory at a time. I know it sounds stupid. After all, my life ended a long time ago. Captain Dainsleif. Twilight Sword, you mean? No need to meet up with him. Things should already be settled on his end. Don't worry about Captain Dainsleif. He's absolutely fine. The only reason he lost the eye was because I happened to guess exactly what he was planning. His plan was to lure the Abyss Order to a false location, capitalizing on their pursuit of the eye in order to have the chance to confront the princess. Before you two entered that false location.
Traveler, wait. We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
You remember my father, don't you? Clotar Alberic. I believe you saw him in your sibling's memory. After he used the power of the Abyss to restore consciousness to my hilichurl form, I suffered from an indescribable level of mental... To comfort me, my father told me a story. That this was a fairy tale world where I had to take on the form of a little monster. That story managed to dispel my fears. Even if my goal was simple. To use the Loom of Fate in its near-completed form. When its ability to create memories was at its strongest. To implant a specific memory into the minds of the hilichurls. In that memory, I would tell them a story. Just like my father did for me. It was a story of fairy tales and love. I can't change the world. Not when I lost the very right to exist within it. Implanting those memories, that was the most worthwhile thing I could offer. All that's left of my existence is a wisp of residual consciousness tied to the Loom of Fate. In truth, that trace of my consciousness should have dissipated long ago. My goal was the one thing that allowed me to hold on all this time. But now, the bedtime story is finished. And its final...
Looks like I was too late to see Kari Bear one last time. Kari Bear's consciousness is gone, and this space space will soon disappear along with it. Neither of us belongs here. That's why we're not tangible. Were that not the case, I'd love to hug you too. Well, how about a conversation? The chance to just stop and talk like this is certainly not easy to come by. Wouldn't you agree? That battle earlier was tough. The one against Dane, I mean. I didn't expect that after everything, he would still hesitate to raise his sword against me. Were it not for that, perhaps I'd still be no match for the Twilight Sword. Even after 500 years. The loom of fate, huh? I still haven't found a way to utilize it to its full potential. But there's still time before the heavenly principles awaken. Yes, for 500 years now, ever since the cataclysm in Conria, there's been no sign of activity. Not long ago, you witnessed the Hydro Archon destroy her divine throne. Yes? Such a flagrant disregard for the rules, and still Celestia took no action. I suppose that's proof enough of the Heavenly Principles situation. However, the Heavenly Principles will awaken. We just don't know when that will be. Or what might... You could say that. Just look at Kari Bear. He was so pure and single-minded. The space we now find ourselves is a perfect representation of who he was. Quiet and peaceful. Even as a hilly churl, seeing the terrible sight within the mirror wasn't enough to taint his spirit. He brought comfort to the people of this world, even though he was denied the very right to be a part of it. So ask yourself this. Who was it that deprived him of that right to exist? Of course, that's only one example. My feelings about the Heavenly Principles are too complicated to explain in just a few words. Ether?
You're the only one in this world who calls me that. There's so much I wanted to ask you, but for some reason, I'm not interested in asking those questions right now. There's just one thing I have to ask. One thing I could never understand. Why? Why can't we continue our journey together?
At the end of my journey, I arrived at a place known as the Sea of Flowers at the end. Do you remember? A long time ago, when we traveled between worlds together, you told me you wanted to find a place in the universe where that one flower was in full bloom. To have a place like that suddenly appear before me. Well, would you think of that as a coincidence?
You mean...
I miss you too, Ether. But as this war continues to rage, and as I continue to seek that final answer, I don't even know how to face myself sometimes, let alone my own brother.
What's going on?
This space has lost its tether. I doubt it'll be able to exist much longer. In fact, aside from our inability to physically interact with each other, there's something else you should know about this space. With Kari Bear gone, we won't be able to remember anything that happened here. Everything in space will be wiped from existence, including all memory of our reunion.
You're only telling me this now?
up a little earlier than you, so Paimon will fill you in. The villagers said that they saw us sleeping near the village yesterday. They couldn't wake us up no matter how hard they tried, so they decided to just bring us back here. Oh, and Dane came by just now. It looked like he was injured. He didn't say anything, though. Just made sure that you were all right and left. Kinda seemed like he had a lot on his mind, but that's Dane for ya. Let's think for a second. We were in that memory, and we saw that guy you called Kari Bear. He was the missing villager that we've been trying to find, right? And after that, Paimon doesn't remember what happened. Wait, really? What a score! Well, what happened after that? A picture? Where'd that come from? Let Paimon see.